only know one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end.
Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell and this is my review of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Yes, this review is a little bit late. I apologize for that, and I'm amazed that I did not have anything spoiled for me up until going to see the film. So that was a good thing. I was happy about that. So I will say this right off the bat, I will be doing two different videos. I'll be doing my basic review right here, and I'll be doing a spoiler-filled review after this, so keep an eye out for those. I'll post that at the end of this video once it goes up on the channel. And I'm just going to be talking about kind of vague things in this video because there's things that I don't want to spoil, such as plot points that I didn't know going into it, so I don't think you would either if you haven't seen the film yet. So this film is kind of split into two different storylines that are going on simultaneously. We have Rey and Luke training on this island in the middle of an ocean on a planet that I don't know the name of, and we have the rebellion trying to survive the First Order as they're basically hounding them for the majority of the film. The film opens up with a giant action space battle, which is awesome. We have the rebellion taking out this giant ship, which has a huge cannon thing on it that I don't know the name of. And that sequence is really, really cool because you get to see the rebellion take out a big ship, and it was just a really fun thing to watch. And you see Snoke get really pissed off at Husk because of that. That said, after that point, I really didn't care about the rebellion story whatsoever for the most part. I cared a little bit about the Carrie Fisher Leia bits because Carrie Fisher has unfortunately passed away. So I was really curious to see how they were going to deal with her character in that regard. So that stuff I enjoyed because Carrie Fisher is a fantastic actress. And then Poe Dameron, he was also fun to watch every so often on screen. He did get a little redundant after a while too with things that he was saying and how he was acting and whatnot. It just really slowed the film down, in my opinion, a lot with the rebellion bits because it didn't really add a whole lot to the overall story and just basically kind of led into the final act. That's all it was really serving to do. That's not to say that Rey and Luke's bits were any more exciting, really, because there's exposition which happens. We get to see what happened on the night that Kylo Ren went crazy and killed everybody and whatnot, and see the true side of what happened with that stuff. We get to see Rey learn more about the Force and the nature of it and stuff. But again, in regards to actiony bits and big events, she definitely has a bigger story and the focus is a lot more on her. But it's still not the most exciting stuff to watch. It's more exciting than the rebellion bits, but it wasn't as exciting for me overall. Part of why that was a lot more interesting for me personally is because we get to explore the relationship between Rey and Kylo Ren. I won't say how this is done, but they do have this connection which is formed between them, and they are able to communicate to an extent. And it's really interesting to see that relationship play off and see how it evolves over the course of the film. That was really interesting for me to see personally because it does lead into a big scene towards the last hour of the film or so. We also get to see Rey and Luke's relationship because, as you would kind of expect, he's kind of this disgruntled master who doesn't really want to train anybody because he's seen so much hate and evil and blah blah. And then he comes around, trains Rey. Things happen. And so it's really interesting to see their relationship play out. It wasn't as much fun as I was really kind of hoping it would be. Luke doesn't really change that much over the course of the film. He has one fun interaction with a character, which I won't spoil here. But outside of that, Luke really wasn't that interesting of a character to me personally. He was kind of a whiny mentor who I didn't really care that much about overall. So yeah, say what you will about Force Awakens from 2 years ago, but that film knew how to move. It had great pacing and pretty much every scene was going into some sort of action-y showdown bit where people were either running around or doing something or things were happening, and it was really fun to watch on screen. It was really entertaining and captivating. And honestly, if this wasn't a Star Wars film, I would have been a lot more bored than I probably was. I was watching it hoping that something was going to happen, and so the pacing is just a huge issue in my opinion for this film. Finn also has kind of a bigger story than I would have expected him to have throughout the course of this film, and a lot of it is kind of, like I said earlier, it's kind of just leading into certain events so that they can happen and then leading to the third act. And I don't know, I wasn't terribly that much interested in his story. Either Rey is the focus of this trilogy, supposedly, as far as we know, and so seeing her and Kylo Ren interact and seeing her and Luke interact, because they're both Jedi and everything, you really want to see more of that, and I want to see more of that. That was where I was the most interested, and then the Rebellion stuff just seemed like a really big side note that I ultimately didn't care about, like I've said repeatedly. So at the end of the day, is this the best Star Wars film to ever be released after the last 7 have come out? No, I don't think so at all. I said, well, I'd probably watch it again, probably before the 9th film comes out in 2019, I guess. I'll probably end up buying it on Blu-ray because I have all the other films on Blu-ray up to now. So I will do that because I'm a completionist. But overall, I was a little bit disappointed with Star Wars The Last Jedi. I do hope that with Rian Johnson's new trilogy, which is going off in a whole different area of the Star Wars legacy and whatnot, I hope that's more action-packed, has more entertaining aspects to it. I did enjoy parts of the last hour because that's where it did get a little bit more actiony. It has a twist which I did not see coming, which I loved, which I'll talk about in spoiler review. I wasn't that much into it, unfortunately, and it really didn't do a lot for me. Okay, guys, those are my thoughts on Star Wars Episode 8 The Last Jedi. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Did you like it more than I did? Let me know. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe once again if you so choose. I appreciate it immensely. And as always, my people, my name is Nick Pell. And once again, may the Force be with you.